All right, you've been watching our live courtroom coverage of North Dakota versus Chad Isaac, a veteran and chiropractor accused of quadruple murder. You can get the latest on closing arguments at 8 p.m. with Vinnie Politan. Still ahead, we are anticipating Robert Durst retaking the stand in his own defense. We'll bring you the latest right here on Court TV, your front row seat to justice. Welcome back to Court TV Live. We are keeping a close eye on a Los Angeles courtroom where we expect real estate heir Robert Durst to retake the stand at any moment now in his own defense as he stands trial for the murder of his friend Susan Berman. Joining us right now here on Court TV, we have criminal defense attorneys John Mobley and Suri Chada Jimenez. So today we've been hearing him kind of talk more about the disappearance of his wife, Kathy, talking about how perhaps the police did not do enough to find her, and actually wondering initially if it was some kind of stunt that she had pulled, and then going on to worry eventually. But how do you think, Suri, that he's doing in terms of his relatability to the jury?
I am so amazed. I mean, he's old, and I didn't think he'd be so articulate and so charismatic in a way. I mean, he's accused of very serious crimes again. And he just up there very relaxed, answering the questions precisely. He knows the dates. I had this condominium, I had this townhome, I had this apartment, this home. But he doesn't come across as arrogant. He's just very matter of fact. And I can see why the jury let him off last time.
Yeah, John, it really is remarkable. Here you have a 78-year-old man who is in failing health and recalling details from decades ago. At times, the level of detail it seems to kind of create levity in the courtroom. He's talking about taking his dog, Igor, to the vet and so forth. Do you think it's working for him?
Well, so far it is, but I think it still kind of remains to be seen. I mean, we've seen his shenanigans when the jury's not around. He's the type of client that I think we would all call unmanageable, where he thinks he's smarter than everybody. He thinks he's smarter than his lawyers. He thinks he's smarter than the judge. He thinks he's smarter than the jury. And he's certainly an intelligent man, but individuals that have egos like that try to manipulate this process the way he has behind the scenes on the stand, ultimately they're going to make a mistake because he thinks he's smarter than everybody. And I think that's what's going to happen sooner or later when he testifies.
And let's remember that Durst is on trial for the murder of his friend Susan Berman, but prosecution is also trying to argue that he murdered his first wife, Kathy Durst, and really he killed Susan because she knew that he murdered Kathy. So I want to play now a clip from when Durst himself talks about his wife, Kathy, starting to have affairs. Let's listen.
Had you heard the term open marriage before?
First time I heard the phrase open marriage was when Newt Gingrich, the politician, was having a great big nasty divorce. That was public, and Newt Gingrich's wife accused Newt, I'm having trouble saying this, Newt Gingrich of wanting to have an open marriage. I never saw a definition of open marriage, but I think it must be obvious to everybody what it means. But that was the first time I'd ever seen the phrase.
Well, did Kathy begin to have romantic affairs with other men?
She did. I did not know about it, but she did.
All right, Suri, what do you make of this? I mean, is this good for him, or does this kind of look like, oh, well, maybe that's why he killed Kathy?
I mean, nobody killed Newt when he was trying to have more wives and more relationships. That might be twisted as a motive, but no, it shows that he's a very sharp man. I know a lot of people criticize him, and he thinks he's the smartest man in the room. He might be. I mean, I don't think I remember things with that much detail that happened a few months ago. So it's impressive, and he's very charismatic. I mean, he's talking about Newt Gingrich like he knows him, which he probably does, and it's definitely very relatable.
John, Suri made a good point. It's really remarkable the level of detail that he's recounting. 78 years old, decades ago. I can't remember stuff like that happened last week. I guess my question is, does that almost make it look contrived?
I think it does to some extent to recall that degree of detail. I mean, I think a lot of lawyers will do that. They will give all these extraneous details that are really not relevant. A lot of times there's just things that there's really no way to prove whether or not they're true or not. I mean, his wife is dead or missing, so he's able to kind of throw under the bus and portray her a certain way, and there's really no way to challenge him or question that. And that's actually intelligent on one hand, but it's also indicative of individuals that will give false statements because they give all this detail that no one can corroborate except for them, so it's difficult to challenge.
You know, we heard some testimony from Durst about the infamous cadaver note and his own handwriting as compared to what was found on the note. Let's listen.